Yeah guys, in this video we are going to discuss about the topic Web API. Web API. So first of all, let us try to understand why we need to learn this Web API. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface. Normally whenever you are into one technology, so you can develop an application, you can develop a mobile app or anything, so where users can interact. So sometimes what will happen, so when the project was divided into several units, so then there is an involvement of different technologies will take place. Okay, so let me show you. Instead of that, I will try to explain you diagrammatically. So observe this diagram. So here one dynamic web application, maybe that is developed with Java or .NET or PHP or any other technology. So Android app will be developed through the Java basics. So desktop application, maybe that can be developed with C#. So iPhone will take place of Visual C++, JavaScript, Web API. So if you observe, there are lot many technologies involved to develop these kind of such applications. So whenever you want to interact with your database directly, so you need to write different logic in different languages. So the same work need to be done by several developers. Maybe the technology is different, the same work they are all doing. So suppose a user is sign up with our website, so we will write the same logic. So if I am .NET developer, I will write in .NET. If I am from Java, I will write Java logic. So if you observe, the purpose is same. Every app is trying to insert the data into your user master table. So that is the purpose of sign up. Maybe login. So you are going to pull out all the data from the database and you are going to match with your credentials, whatever entered by the user. So I mean, whatever the app you will take, maybe the technology is different, the purpose of work is same. So that is the reason here you are going to create a common application which can interact with irrespective of the technology. So that is what the application called takes place. That is what Web API. Web API. Okay. So Web API is a common program. So where that can interact with any kind of application irrespective of their technologies. Even the application developed with Java, PHP, .NET or any other technology. So that can interact with this Web API. So that is the use of this Web API programming. So I hope you understand. Web API is going to be helpful. So where that can interact with your database, that is the only application. So through this application, you can interact through any kind of application, that is Android or iOS or website or JavaScript or a desktop application. Okay. So in this picture, you are going to see one new word called REST. REST is nothing but it is a protocol. So to make interaction between your application and your API. So the REST is a protocol. Okay. So how this interaction is happening means, so there is a protocol called HTTP where we already covered this topic at the time of HTML. So once again, let us recollect the topic. What is the HTTP protocol and what are the different protocol modes available inside this one? So hypertext transfer protocol. So through the address or through the hyperlink, you are going to communicate with any of two machines or two applications we can call. So HTTP contains several protocol methods. So web methods you can call. So we already covered two things. One is get and another one is post at the time of HTML, if you remember. So when you use this get method, it will be used to fetch data through the URL. So where there will be a question mark and there you are going to add some values like ID is equal to name is equal to something. So post is a method where it will be helpful to submit the data through a URL itself. So like the same, additionally you will get two more protocols, put and delete. So these are the four protocols where you need to remember. So these four protocols will be helpful for performing CRUD operations, create, retrieve, update and delete operations through this HTTP protocol. So get, we are already gone through. So this is for we can call retrieve. So post is for submitting the data. Whenever you want to submit, for that you are going to use the post method. So if you use put method, so put is for updating the data. So whenever you want to update data, you will use the protocol put. So delete, the name itself you can easily understand, this is a protocol method for deleting the data. So by using this protocol, you are able to perform transactions between an application and different applications. So again the question, so suppose, so you can develop REST API with .NET, Java, PHP or any other technology. So but these are different technologies, right? How these two can communicate? You need some translator which can be understandable at both ends. Okay, so that is, earlier it is XML. So at Web API 1.0 version, 1.0 version, so Web API, now we got JSON data. So in the latest version, Web API 2.x version, so the current version is running. So what is mean by a JSON? JSON stands for Java Serialized Object Notation. Java Serialized Object Notation. So these two will be easy understandable in every technology. So XML is there in Java, .NET, PHP, Python, Ruby or whatever the technology we have. Like the same JSON also. So these two are the common factors where whenever you want to provide communication between two applications developed with different technologies. Okay, so that is what the purpose of the way of communication is happening. So through an XML or JSON method. So if you use XML, suppose product is there. So you are going to have a tag like this, product open and close. There inside you are going to have ID, some 9001. So ID. So name, price, some price you will have. The data will be in this format. So in an XML format, if you use the older versions. So in latest versions, it's going to be Java serialized notation, right? So here you are going to have like this. So ID colon the value. So name colon suppose iPhone, again price some 45,000 example. So only this is the difference between 1.0 and 2.0 versions. So even though whenever you are trying to submit the data, you need to submit in this format. Okay, so remember, this is an XML notation, this is a JSON notation. So this is how you are going to provide communication between Web API and your applications. Okay, so now first let us try to understand. So before going with Web API, so you need to understand where HTTP status codes. So there are some standard codes are there. Based on that, you are going to understand whether your request, whatever you are passing, that is success or failure. So normally you people already know 404 error. So 404 means, so you can see the page not found. So like that we have some standard codes. Okay, so whenever you give 100, continue is the code. So 101 if you get from API, so switching protocol, so 102 is not available. 103 early hints. If it is 200, the response is, the request is 100% successful. Okay, so 201 created, 202 accepted, like that there are some different codes are available. So based on these codes, we are going to decide whether the request is processed successfully or not. So going forward, you need to understand what are these codes. No need to by heart and all those. So according to that, you can easily understand whether it is the request is processed or not. Hardly you are going to use 5-6 response codes from this. So going forward, you can easily understand for that. Okay, now let's start with the creation or implementing a Web API in .NET Framework applications first. Then we can go for .NET Core. There is no much difference between .NET Framework and .NET Core coming to the point of view of this Web API. Only difference is there we have a direct tool to test when you create a web API application. So for that you require SQL Server also. So because I'm directly going to show you an example, so how to implement a web API application, so which can interact with your table directly. So that means, so you can create a record, you can update a record, you can delete and you can modify. All these things you can observe here. So once again, let it get loaded. So connect. So let me create a table, because I'm going here DB first approach, guys. If it is entity framework, .NET framework core, you have to use code first approach. That is the drill. Remaining everything, the code is same. Okay. So create database, products app, then we are going to use this. Now let's create a table. Create table products ID int identity, and the primary key must, because we are using entity framework, and title, so string, here string is not available, right? So var char of some 20, so price int, that's it. So let me create a simple table. So the table was created, you can check this. So products app, so here we have a table products. So now let me create an application. So here let's go with web API. So here you select .NET framework. Okay, later I will explain definitely with .NET Core also. So ASP.NET web application, web application is fine. After that you will get an option. So ASP.NET web application in bracket .NET framework will be there. You can click on next. So here you can select whatever the framework version and the name of the application, solution name, where it is getting saved. You can customize them according to your requirement. So here you need to select web API. Okay, so you need to click this option. So you can uncheck this option, configure for HTTPS, because every time it is going to ask for SSL certificate and all those. That is the reason you can uncheck this option. You can click on create. So as of now, if you observe here, you will have a folder similar to your MVC application, similar. So you have one values folder. If you see this, so you will have this get method. So getting a particular record, getting all the records. So posting a record, so post method. Put is for updating, I already said you. So delete. These are the possibilities whatever we have. So let me execute without modifying any of the code. Let me show you how a web API is going to be executed. So it's not like MVC, so it is going to be similar. So here you need to check the web API by using a third-party tool that I am going to cover now. So you need to click on API. So then it will redirect you to this particular values controller. So here if you click this get, so you will get data in this format. If you use XML, you will get data in this format. This is JSON format. So like the same values. So this is going to be a guide, okay? So it is not useful to execute or understand anything. So it will analyze the method, and that is going to show you what is the response you will get from that particular call. Okay. So to test such kind of web API applications, we have a tool called Postman. So you no need to download the full application. You have Chrome extension also if you are using your personal machine. So you can go with Postman Chrome extension. So you will have this chrome.google.com URL. So if you click on add to Chrome, so it is going to add this method. So this is the Postman. If you click this, the application is going to open like this. So here you will have an option, take me straight to the app. So I need to create a request, get. So you can give any name. I think it is not required. Yeah, it is not required. So here first you select what is the protocol method that you want to use. Okay. So click on get. So now here whichever the method that you want to test, so first you need to go to this particular URL, whatever the URL of the application. So localhost :/603 14, that URL need to be placed after slash. However, we will do it in MVC. So controller name, here default they given controller name as API. So in case if you want to use this get method, you have to use values. So values. Sorry, I didn't copy it, seems. Now if you click on send request, so you can see the result, what it is returning. Understand? In case if you want to see it in XML format, you can click on XML here. So that's going to be displayed like that. So here you can see the status code 200. So that means it's a success. Suppose here if I am trying values 1, 2, 3, actually that method is not available for us. So if you click this, you will get an error, 404, not found. So this Postman is a URL which will help you to test your web API application. So I hope it is clear to you. Now let us create a real-time application by using the database, so that you can understand what is going to be happen exactly. Okay. So even we can customize this application also. So I am going to delete this values controller. After deleting, let's add ours. Even this home also you can delete if you don't want to. So here home folder also can be deleted. Let's start from the scratch. So first of all, this is, I just want to use DB first approach, right? Somehow we need to have the database model here. So right click, go to add and select a new item. So here under data you need to select this ADO.NET entity data model. So because it's a DB first approach, you can use code first, model first also, there is no issue at all. So I am selecting EF designer from the database because we are using DB first model. So now let's have the server name here. I'm going to copy that, new connection. So SQL server I am selecting. So server name I am providing here. So after that select your authentication. So SA, some password. So then select your database. My database is products API. So test the connection, it was succeeded. Click on OK. Then you can have this option, include the sensitive, because I am giving DB first approach, right? So here let's give DB entities, or else in case if you want to use products API entities, let's use the same one. So select your entity framework version. So now here you need to select the tables that you want to work with. Products is the table. So you can simply click on finish. So now your entity data model is getting created. From that, with few options, I can directly create this particular API controller by using the model and the DB entities method. Let get is created. So the model was created. Let's save this application. So now the model is ready, so that you can create a controller from the model. So scaffold it. So right click and go to controller. So normally we will select MVC5 controllers. So here you select Web API option, so that you have lot many options here. So Web API 2, as I said, there are two versions, Web API 1 and 2. So you can select this option, Web API 2 controller with actions using entity framework. So click on add. Here you can select your model. So the model is products model, right? So that is the product model. So the context is products API. So here the controller name is going to be products controller. In case if you want to customize, you can change this name. So but make sure to have this word controller, okay? Without controller you cannot create a controller without word controller. So click on add. So let's build the application once, otherwise it's not going to happen. So just a second. Build the application, because it's a .NET framework application, it's going to throw errors like this. So add, once again go to the controller, web API. So web API 2 controller with actions. So select products, so products app entities, and click on add. So now you can see it has created products controller. So by inheriting API controller, which comes with this it is the namespace system.web.http. So now you can observe, so there is the get method where it works with whatever the URL followed by API/products. So API/products/ a particular ID. So according to that ID, it is going to get some data. So db.products.find method is going to get the context from the context class. It is going to get one record with the ID whatever we provided. So if you see this put method, so put is for update, right? So if modal state is invalid, so we are going to throw some bad request 404, some error code is going to return with this method. So if ID not equal to product.id also, if this ID whatever we are provided, if that is not there in the database also, you are going to have bad request as a result. If you have, so whatever the data that you are passing to this particular put method, so the updated data, so according to the ID we are going to update the status as modified, and we are going to saving the changes. This is for update. So you can customize if it is confusing also. So next you can see this is for post, submitting, adding a record. So whenever we are adding, we will send the data in product format. So again same, modal state is not valid. If anything is missing in the modal, so you are going to throw it as bad request. So if not, you are going to add the record into the context class, save changes. So like the same you can see for delete also. First of all we are going to find the result. If the result is not empty, so that means ID was not found in the context class. So you are going to return not found. So products.remove if it is available. So then save the data. That's it. So the dispose is for disposing the database connection. So product exist is going to check whether the ID is available or not with the provided ID. So this is how the regular web API controller is going to be created. If you observe here, you won't find any new code. It is almost similar to our MVC code. Okay. Now let's execute and check all these methods through this postman URL. So this is the URL. Let's pass slash. So if I want to test this method, what is that? Get products. So as of now no products are there, right? Let me insert few. Insert into products, title and price, values of something like this. I am just adding 2 records just for testing purpose. So now let's execute this method. So get products. So for that I have to use the controller name API/products. So then it is going to get the list of products from this context. So slash API/products. So now you can see you are able to get the records from that. So let's go and test the second method, API/products/ whatever the ID that you want to get. I just want to get the second one. So now API/products slash id2, you will get the data. Suppose if I am passing id5 which is not available, you can see the method 404 not found. That is what bad request that we are passing, not found method. So for put you have to pass like this. First of all, let us try to insert the record. That is what post method. So API slash products, API slash products. So this is the post protocol. So in the body, in the header or body, somewhere in the body itself. One moment, how to insert that I am going to show you now. So copy this pattern. So for post method, so in the body you can pass this. Yes, here you can select raw from the body. So here you can pass whichever the record that you want to insert, because this is a test method is there, right? So ID 3 I am passing. So iPhone 12 Pro Mini. So amount is some 69,000 example. If you click on send, let us test we got in the table or not. So select star from products. No, I think we missed something. Let's ignore the ID because that's a generated one, right? I think let's pass in the header. Okay, here let's pass title as iPhone 12 Pro Mini. So let's add one more, that is what price. Send. We got the null value, that means it's the wrong one. Just a second. I think this is not the way to insert. Only in body in a raw format or JSON format. First let us get the data. Post method. Yes, it is successful. So you need to submit by clicking the body and selecting the raw. Here you can select the JSON format, then only it is able to insert. Okay, now you can go and whenever as a response you will get the same data whatever you submitted. Okay, so now if I select the record from this, select star from products, so you can see there is a third record. Insertion is successful. Now let's go with update method. So update is for put protocol, right? So this is put. Yeah. So now here I just want to update the price. So if you see this, so the price is same 98,000. I just want to modify it to some other value. So here you are going to use put protocol. So here the same, in the same format you are going to insert, but I am going to change the price. So according to the ID, these values will get updated. So send. Not supported for put method. I think I need to pass the ID also, not required. One moment. So I need to pass the ID. ID is 3, right? So in header, ID as 3. Let's check now. This is also not supportive. Oh sorry, here I need to change the method. That's the problem. So API slash products slash whatever the ID, API slash products slash, either you can pass ID from these headers or else you can pass with value in the URL itself. Let's pass for 3. So if you click, you can see it was successful. Now here if you check in the table, you can see it was modified to 69. Guys, remember carefully. So earlier I forgot to include this URL properly. That's what we got error. Now let's delete a record. So for delete also you have API/products/5. So in same URL, but only thing is here you need to select the delete as a protocol. Okay. So now let's delete this. This is not required for delete, only URL, and click on send. So then you will get a record according to the ID whatever you pass. That means the result is 200. That means it is processed. So if you go and search in the table, so the third record is going to get deleted. So this is how you can perform all the CRUD create, retrieve, update and delete operations. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So this is how you can create a web API. So this is how you can test it by using this Postman app. Okay, in the next video I am going to show you how to create a web API in .NET Core applications. Thank you.